White business owner allegedly caught unleashing a racial tirade. White business owner allegedly unleashes racial tirade, death threats after firing Black employee in the wake of unpaid wages that ignites calls for investigation into death of woman. Here are the details for you folks, buckle up. Popular vacation spot of Huckatown, Oklahoma. Tracy Holt operates Tidy Up Cleaning services, the many rental cabins dotting the area. Her former employee, Shataya Titus, claimed she had not been compensated for a few cabins that she cleaned in 2023. After confronting her then boss about it, she was abruptly fired just before Christmas. Titus wrote in a social media post that's circulating online. And a Black Star with the details here too. Though the two allegedly had not interacted for over a year, Holt recently filed a restraining order against Titus, began denigrating her former employee in a series of posts that would chill anyone to the core. Screenshots of Holt's Facebook account captured deleted posts that are littered with the N-word and reference the death of another local Black woman, warning that Titus would be next. And a Black Star tried to reach out to Tidy Up Cleaning, but the phone had been disconnected. The website has gone dark since the story broke. The post attributed to Holt started off with a threat to her former employee. "I got you now, you effing N-word," before launching into a twisted brag about how easy it was to get a restraining order against Titus and another woman named Brandy. "All you N-words are effing dumb. All I had to do was play like I was hurt and like you were out to get me. And just like that, I got a protective order," read one message. I would like for that to be put in a textbook and given to every American who denies white privilege. Everybody who thinks it's not happening, you can give Clarence Thomas a copy too, deliver one to the Supreme Court. She just spelled out for you the Karenicity, the ease with which one can target a person of color and be believed and weaponize the law against them because she's white and therefore right. That has to be memorialized. Couldn't that go up on Stone Mountain here in Georgia too? I don't know what the cost would be, but if we could etch these words in stone, that would be great. In fact, you can see the screenshots right here. Dumb too. This is just so dumb. But we have to go where the story takes us. If you see in Walmart or anywhere else, I'll call the police if I see you and have your Black ass arrested. Haha, the joke's on you. You know, F and N, B, read another post which quickly escalated into a death threat. "Catch you back in Huckatown. We will kill you and you won't make it home to those little N-word babies." America, look at your life. Better look at your life. I don't care if this would, we know it's not. If this is one time this happened, I would say the same thing. America, look at your life. This disgustingness has dropped on your soil. And if you don't look at it, study it, eradicate it, it's going to spread. This is a pandemic too. The bile diatribe continued, startling allusion to a possible murder. Holt went on, "You'll end up in the lake like that last N-word B. Stay out of Huckatown." Locals on the Huckatown What's Happening Facebook group speculate Holt was referring to Alyssa Walker Donaldson, 24-year-old Black woman whose lifeless body and vehicle were found submerged in Broken Bow Lake, February 2022. The owner's alleged Facebook rant filled with violent threats ignited outrage, calls for an investigation too. 2 days ago, Titus posted a Facebook live video while being pulled over in her car by a policeman, and her supporters were suddenly worried for her well-being all over again. "This doesn't sound right. Please respond to anyone because we are looking for you," commented one woman rather. "Girl, you got sisters all the way from New York City ready for whatever," said another. She quickly put people's fears to rest the next day, March 31st, writing, "I'm okay, I'm not missing, I'm just trying to take all of this in. I appreciate everyone for checking on me more than you know." You know what's sad here is, besides all of the disgusting details that I find graphic, gripping, traumatic, but unsurprising. That's the surprise that's not the surprise for people. Some of us. Not surprised by any of this.
Yeah.
And just not surprised. What say you, I guess, your initial reaction, and then go deeper?
Yeah, my initial reaction when I was reading the headline preparing for the show, it was like I couldn't have predicted at any point how that headline was going to end. And it ended up with someone having been killed. And we have a situation where a Black woman was unpaid by her employer. And when she asked for her money, she was fired and then she turned up dead, right? The social media posts were truly just chilling. I think that was a word that you used, but it really makes me wonder why people haven't learned to be more social media savvy or just socially savvy. It has to be a situation where these people just really live in such small, curated bubbles that no one who still associates with them would call them out for being outwardly and publicly racist. To have that freedom to behave that way in public, to speak that way publicly without any fear of any kind of ramifications, not just audacity, not just Karenicity, but just like as a human being, to behave that way so publicly in a way that there are receipts, right? You can pull it up, you can screenshot it, you do all these things. The fact that none of that stopped her from saying what she said and posting the things that she posted is really bizarre. But in the last story, we were talking about these more subtle incidents of racism. Here, it is blatant. But what's sad is that there's still going to be people who are going to defend the actions of this woman. I mean, I haven't seen them yet, but I'm always surprised whenever you think that there's a story that is indefensible. There's always someone who's going to defend the indefensible, right? But I mean, like, to the point that I was making in the last story, are we supposed to pretend that if we just ignore incidents like this one and people like this woman, that people like her will just go away and incidents like this one will just stop happening? It's not going to stop happening. It's getting worse. And I don't know if you want to blame that on the Republican Party and their very lax stance on racial justice, or if you want to blame it on Donald Trump and his rhetoric and the kind of rhetoric that he has made okay here in this country. Whatever the cause is, people are feeling more emboldened, not less emboldened than before, to be outwardly racist, and they're not really expecting to suffer a whole lot of backlash for it. Here, not only is this woman threatening violence against someone, which is troubling and very scary on its own, but she's being racist on top of it. And again, she's not being subtle about it. She's being just very direct with how she feels about Black people. And as far as we know, this Black woman hasn't done anything wrong or hadn't done anything wrong. All she did was, try to get paid for work that she already did. So we'll be very interested to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, maybe she was owed the wages, maybe she wasn't. I'm more inclined to believe she was owed the wages given who we're dealing with here. But I like your analysis too, because I was wrong. I said her postings made her stupid. She's not stupid for the postings. You're right. She's privileged. She knows who gonna check me, boo. This is how we roll. There's no consequence. This is what I'm doing. And oh, well, that's how comfortable she is. That's not why she is stupid, but that's not why she's stupid. That is part of taught birthright privilege in this country. That's really what it's about. It's sick and twisted. And remind me never to go to this Hawkatown until we can figure out what, I don't know if that's the way you say or not, but I need you to, if I ever call you up, Yaz, and say, I'm thinking about going to Oklahoma. I heard there's these beautiful cabins in Hawkatown.
Yeah.
I need you to say abort, pump the brakes, don't go there.
Yeah,
okay? Because
Oklahoma
I'm all over the place.
Neighbor to the north. I've only been there once. I heard the big cities are nice. I heard Tulsa and Oklahoma City, I think, are nice.
Besides that massacre 100 years ago, I'm sure
they don't talk about
lovely.
it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
If you just don't talk about it, it's fine. So, but other than that, they're dealing with a lot right now, not just with all of this, what's happening, but also their education system seems to be suffering quite a bit as well. So. Thoughts and prayers to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and that reminds me, as we were, it's a lack of a better word, commemorating the 100-year-old massacre of Black Tulsa, this thriving, incredible community where there was mass murder by racists. In modern times, during this 100-year anniversary, as they said, we're gonna ramp up the murder investigation. And oh yeah, the insurance policies the Black people had paid for, the companies that still exist today in some form or another didn't pay out. I remember the Tulsa mayor, his name is on the tip of my tongue, saying, well, we can't give reparations because that would divide Tulsa. And at the time I said, no, what divided Tulsa was white racists who murdered a lot of people and never had to pay for it. You cannot just pretend it didn't happen. But that's what America's doing. And that's why we have this woman in Hockertown posting filth and racist garbage.